Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Max from Beyond Mystic. You're watching Beyond Critical. Today, we're going to be talking all about the Nipah virus. I was talking about the measles virus yesterday. There's a new one that came out. I just saw that right after finishing the show yesterday. We're going to be covering more censorship as well in Canada and also some updates regarding the USA versus Iran situation. Before we get started, make sure to follow Beyond Mystic on YouTube, Jean-Claude Beyond Mystic 003, and also to follow on YouTube. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We post great videos, great live streams every single day. You don't want to miss a beat. So we're going to start this off with the Nipah virus. Now, what is the Nipah virus? Well, we have an article here from Global News that's going to explain this for us. It says an outbreak of the Nipah virus in the Indian state of West Bengal is raising concerns in parts of Asia, leading to some airports to implement precautionary health screening. So far, 5 confirmed infections, including among doctors and nurses, have led to current quarantine of 100 people and the hospitalization of others at various medical facilities in Kolkata, according to the Times of India. This is weird because I was doing some research on the virus, and it seems to me, it seems to say that it makes small appearances every single year, yet I've never heard of the virus. So my question is, why is this all over the news right now? I've never heard of the Nipah virus before. Like it shows here, 5 confirmed infections, 100 people in hospitalization. It says as well that the death rate is between 40 to 75%. So apparently it's a lot deadlier than COVID, but it's a lot harder to catch as well. It's not as contagious. Now, like it shows here, a lot of screenings happening in the airport. When it comes to symptoms, it says infected people generally develop flu-like symptoms such as fevers, headaches, muscle pain, vomiting, and sore throat. Some may experience respiratory issues, including shortness of breath, coughing, and more severe cases, pneumonia. And then it says also the most serious symptoms affecting the central nervous system include seizures, coma, and the inability to breathe. I've read somewhere as well that it was saying it can cause permanent brain damage in some instance. Now, we'll see how this develops, but we already have a bunch of fear-mongering articles here, like it shows. Nipah virus outbreak leads airports to launch COVID-style screening. This is used to scare people. You see everyone with the masks, the big equipment here, scaring people at the airports. Now we have a report from Oxford here saying that they're working, it was posted on December 8th, 2025, that they're working on a vaccine. So they're talking about another vaccine already. Now Oxford is the same company, the same university that created the AstraZeneca vaccine back in the COVID days. You see, it says the vaccine is made using the same viral vectors platform as the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. I want you to pay attention to these headlines here. We have a lot of fear mongering going on. See, a lot of people just scan. They don't read articles. They just scan headlines, right? And look at what they would be seeing. A deadly virus has been redetected in India. It says no vaccines, no cure, and very dangerous. It says airports official in Asia alert for deadly Nipah virus. Infection, West Bengal, case prompt screening across these airport. Airport chaos, new virus threatens globe. So it says in the article there's 5 people that have that were found to have the disease, and it says threatens globe. What to know about the deadly Nipah virus amid outbreak in India. And apparently it's the same thing. It started with bats as well. But just look at those headlines here. What they do, I'm sure you guys are aware of this, but when an article or someone's able to get the emotion of fear or anger out of you, it removes the ability for the brain to have critical thinking. So if you just read this, you're not going to actually go into the article and then read that, oh, well, there's only 5 people that have the virus. And it says, too, in some articles that India already says it was contained. They say it's done. See, it says here, deadly Nipah virus, officials say outbreak is contained. But if you just read the rest of the headlines here, you're going to think this is COVID 2.0. It's just straight fear-mongering. Fear-mongering all the time. Good afternoon, everyone in the chat. Hi, Max from Ontario, Canada. Hello, I'm from here as well. Crypto Blonde saying they are looking for a new jab to push on the people. My guess, bullshit and fear porn. Yes, well, that's exactly what it is. If the World Health Organization is involved, it's most likely BS. When temperatures change more than 40 degrees, we as humans tend to get sick. COVID 2.0. Question the narrative. Always question the narrative. This is exactly what it is. But you see how the narrative can look like for people who don't actually know what they're doing, and they can't think for themselves. They just read articles and they get brainwashed into thinking this is going to kill the whole world. Now, before we get into our next story, we're going to talk about Keir Starmer right before we go into some pretty heavy censorship that's happening in Canada. Make sure to check this out. Ascension Organite. Celebrate timeless love at Ascension Organite. 25% off all pendants, bracelet, and silver jewelry. No code needed. Your discount is automatically applied at checkout, valid through February 8th, 2026. We also have the candles. This thoughtfully curated candle bundle brings together two complementary energies, uplifted joy and grounded clarity. Shop at Farrell & Farm and save 10% with code BM10. The deal with China. We're already starting to feel it here in Canada. Bad news, GM Oshawa will be laying off around 1,200 workers on Friday. This will also have downstream effect. Canada badly needs the USMCA deal. We do need a deal with the United States. We're bringing cars over from China. I've said it in a previous stream not too long ago. China's going to get extremely powerful if the world keeps pushing towards the net zero agenda. We have 1,200 workers that are losing their jobs on Friday because there's no certainty for auto industry in Ontario. We can't get a deal with the United States. Tariffs are killing these businesses. Instead, we're going to bring in cheap cars from China. But now there's news today that Keir Starmer, this guy is worse than Trudeau. He's also going to China. I'm going to play his statement here. But yeah, he landed in China, and he also says it is in our national interest to engage with China. Check.
It's a long time in politics. Try 8 years, because it's 8 years since a British Prime Minister stepped on Chinese soil. And so on this delegation, you're making history. You're part of the change that we're bringing about. And that's consistent with everything that we've done in government, particularly internationally, because we are resolute about being outward-looking, about taking opportunities, building relationships, having confidence globally, and always being absolutely focused on our national interest. And it is in our national interest to engage with China. It's the second biggest economy in the world. If you take Hong Kong alongside China, it's our third biggest trading partner. There are huge opportunities to be had in lots of different ways.
So I haven't checked the stats for UK, but that's what they say. It's always the second largest economy, and they also frame it as their biggest trading partner. I've said this before. When it comes to Canada, you'll hear Carney say a lot that China is our second largest trading partners, but when you look at the actual number, US makes up for about 77% of our trade, and China makes for about 3.9%. So they're our second largest, but there's a big difference between the two. And when you look at the United States, Canada only makes up for 17% of their exports. So when you hear statements that say China lives because of the United States, or when they say that Canada needs to deal a lot more than the US does, it's true, because we're only 17% of the US exports, whereas they are 77% of ours. Moving on here. Beginning today, the Liberals will be permanently deleting their private messages after 15 days and emails after 30 days. Talk about controlling the narrative. If they believe what they told you, they wouldn't be deleting their information. So this is a system that's already in place. It's not just the Liberals. It's everyone working at the government. Every public sector employee will now be able to delete any emails or text messages they deem irrelevant after 15 to 30 days. Now, this is a massive problem here, because we have the, let me pull it up here. We have the access to information Act, which allows citizens to request information from the government, and it's typically supposed to be provided within 30 days. Now, there's always delays. They can always come up with an excuse to why they're not able to provide those documents or that information in time. The only problem is this section here, section 6.7.1. It says no person shall, with intent to deny a right of access under this part, destroy, mutilate, or alter a record, falsify a record, or make a false record, conceal a record, or direct purpose, counsel, or cause any person in any manner to do anything mentioned in any of those paragraphs. So this is an issue because it says you cannot delete a record only if you have intent to deny a right of access. Proving intent is really hard, because especially if they get into the habit of deleting records every 15 to 30 days, it's really hard to prove that someone deleted something with intent when they can just come up with the excuse that, oh, well, it was a routine delete, or it was automatically deleted. We forgot to switch it. There was no intent to delete or to hide anything. Sorry, it was just a mistake, an accident. And when it's deleted, it's extremely hard to go get it. And it's hard for the government is just straight up not going to provide documents that it does not have. Right? When you file an access to information, they might just come back and say, well, documents unavailable, or we weren't unable to find documents that match your request. So this section here, a lot of people a lot of liberals are defending this part, saying, well, it's just to free up storage. They want to free up storage in their databases. They're just deleting stuff that's not important. Well, what do we know? We don't know what's not important. It's easy for them to delete something, and then a year later, 2 years later, an access to information comes up and they don't have the record on file. We have an article from CTV News here when Carney, before he ran, April 25th, right before the election, it said Liberal leader Carney commits to a review of federal access to information system. It said Liberal leader Mark Carney is promising a review of Canada's access to information if his party wins the federal election, suggesting he sees room for improvement in how the law works. On the federal election trail Friday, Carney committed to an objective review of the federal transparency regime, saying it would serve Canadians well. While this is a lie, this is not a review, this is not an upgrade. He's actually taking a step back, letting people at the government, his MPs and public sector employees, delete on accident documents that could be requested for access to information. We also have Doug Ford here. Doug Ford's a liberal. I mean, we've said it before. I say it on my Instagram. He wears the conservative badge, but he is a liberal. Ontario PC Convention bans media. Banning media is the first step in power consolidation. Consolidation. They want control of messaging without accountability. So Doug Ford bars the media from his convention. They have the same thing as the federal government, the convention for the Conservative Party. He's banning the media from attending, meaning anything that will be said won't be reported to the media. They can make plans. They can say something. You'll see their donors as well. You see who gives money to the party. None of this will be on video. I feel like in a democracy, this just straight up shouldn't be a thing. But let me know. Let me know what you guys think in the audio, in the chat here. I'm having a small issue regarding my audio from my StreamYard. So let me just take a quick 2-second break here. I'm just going to reload the page and come back. You guys just sorry about that. There you go. I'll just put this back on. Wait patiently in the chat. In the meantime, let me know what you think about this censorship that's happening from the Liberal Party or from the government. Let me know if you agree with the deletion of emails and text message with only 14 or 15 days, after they've been sent out. I'll be back in a second. Perfect. We should be all good now. There you go. Perfect. All right. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the chat. We're going to keep going. Also, Doug Ford. It says here, like I just said, Doug Ford's a liberal in disguise, was more willing to offer support for Mark Carney, but refuses to support the leadership of Pierre Poilievre. So they're both conservative members. They're both from the same party, technically. They both fight the same battle. However, we've seen recently that Doug Ford seems to like Mark Carney a lot more than he likes Pierre Poilievre. He was the first one to criticize Carney over this deal with China. And now he comes back after a quick meeting with Mark Carney saying that he supports the deal. He supports the auto sector. And we see what happened today. 1,200 jobs were lost due to this deal. And it's going to keep getting worse. Crypto Blonde, you can't bet this was all planned in advance. Yes, I can bet. This tells you everything you need to know. Exactly. This is so shady and corrupt. It is shady and corrupt. Sorry. We're going to watch Doug Ford's statement here. He was asked what he thinks about Pierre Poilievre and if he wishes luck to Pierre Poilievre, and he kind of just dodges the question. He shows almost no support for someone that fights the same battle as him on paper.
As a conservative, what number do you think Mr. Poilievre needs to get at his leadership review? And in your assessment, is he the national leader that conservatives need right now?
Well, I'm really focused on Ontario. We're having our convention the same time they are. So I'm focusing on this weekend, getting the message out to our progressive conservative base in Ontario and telling them the plan, how we're going to protect themselves, protect the jobs in their communities. That's what I'm going to be focused on. Good luck at the federal conservative convention, but that's going to be up to them to determine if they want to move forward with Pierre Poilievre.
Kathy Scats, are there any conservatives left in the Canadian government? I'd like to think there is. I'd like to think that Poilievre is fighting the good battle here and that he's a conservative. But, we'll see. It's hard to judge someone when they're not in power. I truly believe that Poilievre has good intentions in mind. But like I said, it's hard to judge when someone's in power. I think Danielle Smith, I liked her a lot, but then she kind of just started making deals with Carney, the MOU, and standing on his side. So I'm kind of just stepping back. To be completely honest, guys, like where I stand, I don't really like anyone at the government. I feel like when you start liking a personality, liking a politicians, you kind of look over when they do mistakes or they do stupid things. So I kind of choose to not like or not get attached to any politician or anyone, and I just stay neutral and I do what's best for Canada. If Carney does something amazing for Canadians tomorrow, I'm going to praise him. If Poilievre does something that's terrible, I'm going to call him out. I don't really, I'm a conservative. I voted conservative, and obviously I have conservative values, but what I mean is I don't get attached to the actual person themselves. I feel like that's when you don't make rational decisions and you don't vote for or don't vote for what's best for you and your country. Now we have protests in Iran. We haven't talked about the protests in Iran in a bit. Developments, they seem to have calmed down. It's hard to tell because, well, there's a media blackout, there's an internet blackout, so there's not a lot of videos that get posted. And when they get posted, it's hard to know if it was from that present day or if it was from a few days prior. Sometimes they get posted days later. So we have an update here from Trump threatening an attack on Iran if they don't make a nuclear deal in the upcoming days. Let's watch his statement here.
President Trump is tweeting again. He has put out a message on his Truth Social. He says, and I quote, "A massive armada is heading to Iran. It's moving quickly with great power, enthusiasm, and purpose. It is a larger fleet headed by the great aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln than we sent to Venezuela. Like with Venezuela, it is ready, willing, and able to rapidly fulfill its mission with speed and violence if necessary. Hopefully, Iran will quickly come to the table and negotiate a fair and equitable deal. And then in capitals, no nuclear weapons. One that is good for all parties. Time is running out. It is truly of the essence. As I told Iran once before, make a deal. They didn't, and there was Operation Midnight Hammer, a major destruction of Iran. The next attack will be far worse. Don't make that happen again. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump.
So he shifted his focus from helping out the protesters to bombing or making a deal regarding the nuclear weapons in Iran. This follows the June, I believe it was June 22nd or June 20th. I think it was June 22nd, bombing of 3 nuclear sites in Iran. And the reason he doesn't want nuclear weapons in Iran is because they voiced their dislike for Israel a lot. And Iran partnered with Hamas, partnered with Hezbollah, all the Islamic Middle Eastern countries. They all kind of have some ties with terrorist activities. They all collectively don't really like Israel, and it would be a disaster for Israel if Iran was able to have nuclear power. It would probably send us into a pretty hefty battle. The United States would have to defend Israel if, in the case that Iran attacked. So he bombed them, and at first he was saying that there was no threat, and that then the statement came that, well, he kind of just delayed them for a few months, and then he delayed them for a few years. Now he's threatening to bomb them again, this time being far worse if no deal is made in to scrap their nuclear power. Now Iran says they're just building plants for citizen nuclear energy, so for gas and for boats, whatever you want to use nuclear power for. They're not using it for weapons. There's a lot of pushback. They're actually not agreeing, or they're not willing to negotiate with Trump on this deal. We have a statement from this guy. He's the foreign minister, Islamic Republic of Iran. He says, "Our brave armed forces are prepared with their fingers on the trigger to immediately and powerfully respond to any aggression against our beloved land, air, and sea. The valuable lesson learned from the 12-day war." This is the war this summer, lasted 12 days, where the U.S. bombed the 3 sites here, have enabled us to respond even more strongly, rapidly, and profoundly. At the same time, Iran has always welcomed a mutually beneficial plan and equitable nuclear deal on equal footing and free from coercion, threats, and intimidation. Which ensures Iran's right to peaceful nuclear technology and guarantees no nuclear weapons. Such weapons have no place in our security calculations, and we have never sought to acquire them. Again, I haven't followed this extremely carefully. It's been going on for many, many years, and there's always new news and updates. But apparently they have enough, or they could gather enough materials in 6 months to make about 10 nuclear bombs. So that's what the United States is scared about. We have another statement here that says, "Hell will break out in the Middle Eastern very soon, and it will be completely different from the 12-day war. The Islamic world is united and will not be easily crushed." So this is what I was saying. Israel is right here. Iran is here. And then you have the Lebanon, you have Saudi Arabia here, and all those little terrorist organizations all around. That could be very dangerous for Israel if they have nuclear power and they decide to actually ally and attack in Israel here. The United States would have to take care of this. Now, we're going to finish off today with a video from Ilhan Omar. She's a congresswoman in Minnesota. Yeah, she was born in Somalia. And you hear a lot of stories on how she maybe married her brother, or like suspicious net worth activities. She had $42 in her bank account when she got in power, and then a year later it was at 20. She had a net worth of $25 million. Fraud regarding a business that she might have owned, or that she reported she owned. The business was valued at like $5,000 one year and then $5 million the next year, but there's no physical address, or you can't call the number. They don't have any products. She's involved in some weird fraud, or allegedly involved in some weird fraud, I should say. People are saying that she might have had something to do with the daycare. We don't know. I haven't been following this very, very carefully here, but the video I'm going to show you, she got sprayed by a liquid over the weekend at a convention. She was speaking, and there's a guy that got up and sprayed her with an unknown liquid. He was arrested, tackled down. The sus part, though, the suspicious part about this is she continued the meeting. She continued speaking right after. And I mean, if it were me and I was speaking at an event and someone rushed me and sprayed a liquid, an unknown liquid on me, I'd probably get it checked. You know, I'd probably make sure that it's not poison or not anything that could be dangerous for me. But she just kind of said nah and kept talking. So this is weird. It's not helping her allegations of being a fraud. People are saying she faked this. There's no audio on the video here, but we're gonna see the there you go. This guy sprays a liquid on her here. He says something and then he gets tackled to the ground. And yeah, well, that's what I mean. You know, I saw a comment saying acid. It was actually determined to be apple cider vinegar, not not anything dangerous. Exactly, it says sprayed with apple cider vinegar. So yeah, very very weird, very weird. We'll see how this develops. I mean, it was a shorter show today, guys. Before I head out, make sure that you're subscribed to Beyond Mystic on YouTube and also to Beyond Mystic on Rumble. The next upcoming show is Beyond Ravens with Janine. It's coming out at 2 p.m. So in just a few minutes here, 34 minutes. Apple cider vinegar is healthy. Exactly. So yeah, make sure to tune in live on Rumble, YouTube, or X for Beyond Ravens with Janine. As for me, guys, I wish you a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday at 1 p.m. Thank you for watching again. Oh my God, what a fraud. I said the same thing when I watched this video. Thank you, Crypto Blonde. Thank you for tuning in the chat, guys. Make sure to hit the like button. Yes. And yeah, really, it means a lot to me that you guys are tuning in every single day and posting in the chat. I really appreciate it. I wish you guys all a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.